Hey guys, welcome to Ensoul Media. My name is Jasmine Riana, and today I'm joined with Breonna Taylor's best friends. If you could, please welcome Alena and Marnissa. All right, Marnissa, how about you tell me a little bit about you guys, how you came to Charlotte?
Well, my name is Marnissa Brown, born and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I met Breonna. I moved here to Charlotte almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in December. 28. And this is my other best friend, my sister, my other half. I call them my left and my right hand. Breonna was my left hand. This is my right hand.
I'm Alena Battle, also from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've been here in Charlotte for 6 years now. I'm 25, almost 26. And I met Breonna. We stayed in the same apartment complex. And at the time, Breonna had another friend named Breonna. And I didn't like her friend. So somehow, amongst our interaction, is when I met Breonna. And we went to middle school together as well. We became friends. Once we became friends, we were inseparable ever since.
Yeah, so since almost elementary, basically. That's dope. I know, long-lived friendships. We all need one of those.
Yeah. So how did you guys navigate like moving to Charlotte? Because you say 6 years. So I mean, you young. So there's like 1920 when you came down. So how was it, leaving Michigan and coming to Charlotte and leaving your best friend?
Well, Breonna she had moved to Louisville when we were in high school. So when I moved here, because it was like just me, it was kind of like a shock because I didn't have my family around, but Breonna, Louisville was only 8 hours away. So a lot of times, if I don't go back to Michigan, with that being 12 hours, I would just go to Louisville. So I spent, quite a bit of time going back and forth to Louisville, Kentucky, or she'd come here too. So that kind of helps, me not having family right necessarily here in Charlotte.
So all the pictures I've seen of y'all, especially her, she was so stylish, always with the fashion. I mean, were you guys always like that? Because I mean, even when I first met you all at the protest, like I was like, dang, okay.
We was, I don't know, Breonna, she was always like into her hair. It was like once she started getting her hair laid, that was it. Like she was coming laid, her lashes was gonna come done. Like it didn't matter where she was going.
Right.
Her hair and her lashes was gonna be done.
Right. I was looking like all the pictures, like you guys' friends sent, and just pictures we've seen online. I was like, I have not seen a bad picture. I mean, she came with it.
Yeah, it's like once that glow up hit, that was it. I'm serious, like that's all you seen was she always looked put together. Like it was never a moment where, you didn't see her looking beautiful or, so.
I know we've, heard a lot about her going to school and being EMT and working towards being a nurse. How important was that for her? And I don't know if you guys maybe seen that in your early years, like her passion for like helping people. Was that something that you guys, it was a surprise when she went that route? No.
No, she always, had a big heart, cared, and, wanted to help people. So it wasn't a surprise at all. And it was very important to her, that was a part of being successful, finishing school and becoming a nurse. And she loved her job. She even loved that night shift.
Really? The night shift?
Yeah.
Like, don't call me before such time.
Yeah.
So when she worked night shift, what was she doing?
So she was an ER tech.
Okay. Yeah. And that was during like COVID and stuff too, right? That's crazy.
We had literally just talked like maybe a couple hours before the incident, before it happened. We were all in the group text talking about COVID and how we were like, we tired of it already. And, it was just, really starting, but we were already
over. Yeah. Everybody was over it. By the time March hit, everyone was over it. So I know, you talk about how you guys were all talking in group chat. Like, I think Marnissa, you had talked about some of the things she would say in the group chat. Like, it was always put a smile on you guys' faces. Like, what were some of the things she would always say to y'all?
She just come out the blue. She'd be asleep we'd be all having a whole conversation, and then she just come like hours later, just saying something random, and we'd be like, "What? Where'd that come from? We missed the whole conversation we had." She'd be, "Oh, well, I'm going to sleep. You know, get my nap in
for the night shift."
Yeah, and it's like she just always had like a bossy type of attitude about herself. So it was like she was gonna come through talking kind of jazzy in the group about something, or she was gonna give you like some confidence. But she always came like bossy with it.
Yes, there's things you can't like forget, you know.
She
Such
was
as
just
something that happened. You said she was like what?
She was just a vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So when we get to March 13th, like what was your guys' day like? You know, just navigating everything normal, like you're not expecting anything of that sort to happen.
So I had talked to Breonna that day, for the day before. We had talked on FaceTime. It was right before her and Kenny was about to go on a date. So we was talking. We didn't talk like maybe 10 minutes. But you know, she was just talking about her day. I was talking about mine. Telling me how they was about to go on a date. They was about to go, I think, to Texas Roadhouse. And so we were talking then, and then in the group chat, because we talked pretty much in that group chat like all the time. So that night we was talking in the group chat as well.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, I think the last time that I had talked to her was those few hours before it happened. We were talking about that, and I don't recall if we talked earlier that day in the group chat. But I mean, I just thought it was, you know, just a normal conversation. We was on talking again in the morning. You know, I mean, of course nobody was expecting the call. I was at work when I got the call at like 5 in the morning from my sister. And at first I'm like, she was like, Breonna's gone. And I'm like, what? You know, like,
where's she going?
She's going. Right. And she said it, and I really didn't understand what she said when she was saying it. She said they killed her, and I was just like, I don't know, my heart kind of stopped, and I just like dropped everything and just was like bawling my eyes out. And everybody around me was like, what's going on? What's going on? And I was just like, my best friend is gone. Like, they killed my best friend. I left work shaking the whole time on my way home, and I think I ended up calling Breonna's mom, and that's when I found out a little bit more of what happened, that she was shot. Somebody had, you know, broken the house and she was shot. And I went home, and I don't know, we kind of called our other friends to let them know, which was hard. And
because it was still hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, like it was rough. It was a rough day. Like I was shaking like the whole day. Like it was just unbelievable.
So everything was still kind of unknown. Like you really didn't know like what happened. Really, like you kind of just had a general like overview. Like she's gone. That's the only thing you really knew.
Yeah. So as friends, we were just like trying to piece it together and try to wrap our heads around it and figure out like what the heck happened. Because like we just talked to her. This can't be real. And I just kept telling myself like this has to be like a wicked joke. Somebody's playing on us. This cannot be reality. So it was just like it was crazy. And trying to, you know, think about it. And like we didn't know at the time that it was even the police that had shot and killed her. So it was really mind-blowing.
Just like,
and then once you seen the article, it didn't make sense. The article that they put out is calling them suspects and all this, and I'm like, what? Like this don't make sense. Suspects of what?
right.
I don't understand what happened. Like how did this happen? And once it came out, you know, more what really happened that night, because I was confused on like, well, I thought somebody had broken into their house,
Right.
and you know, tried to rob them or something. Never would have thought that it was the police.
Right. So when everything started building up on the facts, like more and more started coming out, you see all these articles and these, you know, opinion pieces, like how did that make you feel? Because I can only imagine, just as a person in this world, a black woman, it angered me. Because I'm like, you don't even know what's going on. Like, how did we get to this point?
Yeah, definitely. You just get so mad. It's like you try to, you know, say something like, I'm just gonna let it roll off, but you want them to comment to everybody, you know, say something back to everybody so bad, because like you really didn't know her. And you know, for people just to really put their opinion out there and say like some of the harsh things, like they knew her, and like it's like it's hurtful. We're already grieving, we're already going through so much, and then for you to keep putting your negativity out there, like it's just like, how dare you?
Yeah.
You know,
Even still to this day, anytime something new comes out, like I just try to stay off of social media, because sometimes it's hard to not say anything. You want to defend, you know, everything, like, you know, all the negativity, and it's like you can't comment on everything that everybody has to say, because at the end of the day, it's pointless. Like, we know the truth, we know who she was, so I kind of just try to block out the negativity. It is hard. It's hard. Today was hard to not say the things that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I just try to stay positive and think about the memories that we had. You know, these people don't know who she was, and if they did, they wouldn't be saying none of the stuff that they're saying.
Right. And it's so sad because it brings to light just how people see African American people in general, because nothing about her makes me think that she deserved what she got. So I'm like, where are y'all getting this from? Like, can we talk about this for me? Like, I'm not understanding how we get to, you know, this situation. I mean, out of everything that's happened in 2020, I feel like Breonna Taylor's death is like the most harshest thing we could have seen, because not only was she giving back to the community, she was working, she had a job, she was doing her thing like she was an American citizen, quote unquote. And we're still, you know, penalizing her in her death. Like, I'm not understanding how we got to that point. So I can only imagine just seeing, you know, the months go by. First, there wasn't a lot of publicity around it. People really weren't talking about it. And then it took, you know, with George Floyd, for people to really start getting behind it and like really talking about it. And still, to this day, we still haven't seen justice. Well, we still haven't gotten justice. Other than someone being fired. I mean, that's really, you know, like that's not really much. So how are you guys like navigating through that space? I mean, just, you have to live life. You guys have kids. You have to, you know, get up and go to work and take care of a house and try to, you know, live this life knowing that these people ain't got my back, you know?
So it's hard.
Yeah.
Especially because honestly, it's starting to really seem like the more time goes by, the harder it's starting to get. Especially just emotionally, knowing like the people that, you know, killed her, they have not been held responsible for their actions. And then just on a personal level, like I talked to her about so much. So her not being here is very lonely for me. Like, who do I go to now? Like, who do I, you know, talk to about, you know, a lot of different things. So it's really hard. Like, especially like even when, you know, happy things happen, you know, good things happen. It's hard because it's like, oh, let me call Bree, and then it's like reality hits, and then, you know, it just gets sad all over. Like, dang, she's really not here.
It's like too, you have to relive the moment over and over and over again. Just seeing her pictures, like, it's hard sometimes to look at her pictures and watch videos and hear her voice, because honestly I get mad. Like, this isn't right. It's not supposed to be like this. Like, she should be here with us right now. I shouldn't have to, you know, sit here and look at videos and pictures just to see her. So it's definitely different, and I just try to, you know, keep her name alive as much as I can, honestly, and tell her story. You know, people always be like, how do I deal with it? You know, people ask me a lot, and I'm like, you know, I just tell them, like, you know, sometimes it's tiring, it's overwhelming, but I feel like her story needs to be told and people need to know. So if I gotta be the one to do it every day, all day, I'm gonna do it. And that's just what the norm is now.
So yeah, I believe the Attorney General, he definitely needs to be held accountable. And I think you were about to say something.
Yeah, for me, like she said, when you said justice, it's more than just one person. I think there's a lot of people who should be held accountable for their actions. Honestly, all the way up to the judge who signed the warrant, because I feel like nobody really did their job adequately and really looked at what they were signing off on. And I think if people had done their job, this would have never happened. Because me, honestly, I don't think that they should have ever been at her house in the first place. There was not enough evidence. There wasn't, anything that really pointed to this is the house that we should be, and justice would be for everybody to be held accountable. And in order for the country to move forward and the community to move forward, somebody has to take responsibility for what happened. We can't leave the situation and say, okay, everybody did their job. It was a tragic, situation, and that's that. And everybody walk away with their jobs and get to still live their lives. Like, no, that's not the answer. So there has to be real justice in this situation.
Yeah. I know, people may be thinking, with the settlement and everything, do you think if nothing else happens, is that enough? Or do you think it should be more? Like, it should be definite charges and things of that nature? I'm sure there's some ignorant people probably thinking that, they got the settlement, that's all they needed. Like,
yeah, no. And it's been a lot of negative stuff around the settlement, and I don't even think people take into account like what all this really means. Like, it was more that came with just the money. It was police reform that came with the settlement, and I think people are just insensitive to her mom, like the decision that she had to make, the pressure she had to feel to make that decision. And this doesn't change the fact that we still want justice, just because the settlement was made. And there's not enough money, there's not enough people that can go to jail that really, would make the situation, make us feel any better, but to move forward and for some type of healing, it's more than just money for us.
Yeah, for sure. Got anything after that? She covered it.
She did.
So I see a lot of people hashtagging Breedway. Where did that come from? Just curious, because for me, it's like that's a whole movement right there. Like,
It is.
It really is.
I think her mom came up with Breonna, but it's just like really knowing Breonna who she is. Like, it's like, do it the Breonna. Like, you better come confident, come jazzy. Like, bring out positivity, just be a vibe, because that's what she represented. So it's like when we say Breonna, it's like it is a movement. It's just like getting in tune with Bree, like, and who she was.
I definitely picked up on that. Just like I said, just when I started reading the story and everything, I was just like, this is a very dope woman. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. No matter how many times we think about it, it doesn't make sense. It shouldn't have taken us 6, 7, 8 months to get to this point. And we promise it shouldn't take 7 months, but just speaking on it, it's just like, no, this doesn't make any sense. When you think about when you're home alone, like, what is your favorite memory of Breonna that really just kind of holds you and, makes you feel warm, feel the love a little bit?
My favorite memory, I don't know, I kind of played off 2 memories, but in February, she came here, she surprised me for my son's 2nd birthday, which is her godson. So it's like, knowing like that was the last time I got to see her in person, so I kind of that sticks with me, just like her popping up at Chuck E. Cheese. And she popped up and she locked me up on social media, so I had no idea. And so like to see her come through, it was just like, dang, like you drove all the way here and I literally had no idea. So that alone was just like, you're just so dope. Like, you're so dope. And then too, like, as my birthday was getting closer, last year I spent my birthday with her in Kentucky. And she surprised me, got me a birthday cake. And it was funny though, because like, before I went to Kentucky, it was me and her on the phone, it was Kenny too. And we was just like talking about anything. We was talking about cake and stuff. And I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Like, we was just randomly talking about everything. And so then for her to come and surprise me, like, with a birthday cake, was like, she just did little stuff like that. Like, she was always thinking about somebody else. So those are the memories that I hold dear to my heart.
I don't know, I have a lot of memories, but it just be random memories. Just like thinking about when we would go to Kentucky and we would go to her house and just be laying in her bed, and I'd be laying on her while she trying to sit there and take a nap. And we'd be sitting there waiting for our other friends to get there from Michigan. And we'd be sitting there like, oh man, I'm so hungry, I'm ready to eat, let's go to Andy's. And she'd be like, I don't understand how y'all eat so much. Why are y'all hungry?
And I'm like, snacking people I know.
I'd be like, I haven't ate all day, what do you mean? And it just be memories like that just pop in my head all the time. And I think about, like just being at her house or, you know, just chilling and being around each other. And I think my graduation was December in 2018, and she came to, I was still living in Grand Rapids. She came to Grand Rapids, and I don't know, that was like one of the best weekends I had in my whole life. And we just had a ball that weekend. We had a Christmas party.
Yeah. Oh, that's with the ugly sweaters?
Yeah.
Yo, that looks so dope. I was like, I want to have ugly sweaters.
She was like, I don't know what to be, I don't know what to be. And we came with something, and she was a fireplace, I think. Yeah, she dressed up at the fireplace. And I don't know, we just had so much fun that night. It was just one of the best weekends I ever had. And I was just, you know, she was a part of it. All my friends were there. And that's some of the memories that, you know, I hold dear to my heart and that I'll always remember. But she was just, I don't know, different.
Yeah.
It was a different type of relationship, friendship that you don't get.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm just, you know, speaking with you, talking about like, you know, how involved she was with you guys' children and, you know, really there for them, celebrated them. It's just like, you know, she's their auntie, like, she do auntie things for them, you know? You know, how will you guys navigate that space with them? Because I know your kid's a little bit older, right? You know, he just ran up 2 years old, like, oh, you know, this is free. Like, you know, how are you guys kind of bringing that discussion up?
Well, my son, I have to my other sons in here, but they both know who she is, and I try to keep them informed on what we're doing, you know, when we do these marches. So they like randomly be in the house, Breeway, or, you know, say her name. It's this song, I don't even know where they got it from, but they be like, wow for Breonna. And like, they just, you know, so, and my son is just randomly, you know, saying, I remember one time I was at the store, and he was like, you should put Breonna's name right here to the cash register. And so, you know, they know, and they try to, you know, keep her name alive, and they kind of understands a little bit, you know, that she's not here anymore and stuff like that. But he get it, and we just try to, you know, keep them informed and keep the memories of her, right, so they can always know and remember who she was.
Yeah. I think especially with my son being so small, he's 2. So a lot of it is, you know, I just want him to see her face and, you know who she is. So as he starts to get older, I can really, you know, explain T.T. Breonna, who she was to him. So just right now, it's just him being able to recognize and make sure that he don't forget.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta keep her name alive. I think for me, my biggest hope is that, you know, a year from now, 2 years, 10 years down the road, we don't look back at this as just a memory or something that happened in 2020 and keep it moving. Like, I really hope that, you know, we show up more for Black people, and not only that, but we really, you know, talk about Black women being murdered like the way they are. I mean, Breonna Taylor, Sandy Bland, you know, all these different women who didn't get justice after, you know, they were wronged. You know, of course, when you think about, you know, your healing and moving past this, what is your future? Like, what do you think about, you know, that you will want for the future that comes from this?
For me, change, just to see, and I don't know how to say it, but I feel like that's what, I don't think it was a part of the plan, but since it happened, I feel like her death has been the change that we need, and the conversations that need to be had. And so I hope that from here on out, we continue to have these conversations, continue to push for change and police reform, and just the value of Black women in general, you know? So for me, the future looks like change, different perspectives, really valuing us Black women, and treating us the way that we deserve to be treated, honestly. So that's what the future looks like.
Yeah. So what about you? Same?
Yeah, it's the same, and I think a lot of it is conversation at the dinner table that needs to be had, right? I think it's something that, you know, for so long we've known about, but it's something that's kind of been brushed under. So I think it's definitely, you know, change has to happen. We have to start having these conversations, and we have to not only have the conversations, but we have to take action.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, for sitting down with me and opening up and talking about it. I'm sure it wasn't easy. I can only imagine. So, is there anything that you want someone to do, like write in, call, or what action do you want us to take?
Keep saying her name. Sharing the story, the true, honest story. Participating in protests if you can. Calling the Attorney General's office and demanding some type of justice. I mean, hopefully he speaks and says something in the next couple weeks. So just standing behind us and the family for the fight for justice and keep her name alive, honestly. That's all we really can ask.
Okay. Thank you. All right, guys. So thank you for rocking with us. You can find any information about where you can support, protest, whatever else in the link below. And hashtag Breeway. I think that's a good one.
Breeway.
Oh, pirates, yes, they ride by, sold I to a merchant ship. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hands are made strong by the hand of the Almighty to forward this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever had. Redemption songs, redemption songs.